Well, what have we here? We're back with another tier list, and today I think the game's been out for long enough and Stripe has been out for long enough for me to rate how fun each character in the game is, and we're just going to get right into it with Arya Stark. And I think Arya Stark this is tough. I think Arya is, you have a school project, but at least you get to work with your boys. Arya's not the best designed character in the game. She really is just throw dagger up special the character. I don't think she's really interesting outside of that. It's kind of a bummer because I'm a big Game of Thrones fan and I really did try with Arya. I tried really hard to like this character. I think I got her to level 15 without any XP boosters just by playing. But yeah, I'm just not fond of how she plays. I don't think she's incredibly interesting. I don't think she has a cool mechanic. One cool thing about her is that you can throw daggers on your teammates and teleport to them to give them a quick buff at the start of the match. And then she has a buff where I believe she gives everyone on the team an armor breaker, or at least their hands glow purple like they have an armor breaker, and that's really strong too. So she has good utility, but I just don't think she's interesting. And another character that I don't think is super fun is Batman. I think Batman might be slightly more interesting than Arya. Batman is really just Batarang and then normal attacks the character. A lot of characters have some really fun special moves that kind of change how they play a bit. Batman doesn't really have that. His only other special move, you're going to throw down smoke when you have it, but it's not a very interactive ability. It just kind of hampers the enemy team. And then the only other special move you're going to be using a lot is his up special in the air to help chase kills. And I guess his down special in the air to kind of like help get kills and to gimp people and to edge guard people. But I don't know. I don't think Batman's as fun as he could be. Bugs Bunny, this is tough. I think Bugs Bunny might be up here when he was stronger, but I don't know. I'm going to put Bugs, I don't know. Bugs does have a lot that he can do, so I'm going to put him as staying home from school while you're playing video games. That's a great day, right? Very fun. I think Bugs has a lot of moves. A lot of them are very fun and interesting, and you can do cool stuff with them. But again, I don't know if this character is the most fun in the game, but he has a lot he can do. And honestly, the mage class is just one of the most fun classes in the game because you have so many moves that can hit from so many ranges. You just have options, and options are always fun. Now, Finn is only fun if you're drunk. This character is simultaneously a caveman character and a really hard to play character. And I think that's just because he's not great right now. I don't think he has any interesting gimmicks. The shop really isn't as interesting as I thought it'd be day one. You really don't use it for much other than the speed boost, if you go for the speed boost at all. I've been seeing a lot of Finn players ignore the shop completely and just use coins as offense and an extra projectile. This character is not really interesting to me. I don't know why so many people are obsessed with Finn. It's probably because people like Adventure Time and a lot of people care about that show a lot. But I just think Finn is so uninteresting and I'm not a fan. Garnet, on the other hand, is staying home from school while playing video games. If you think this character only jabs, you're bad at the character. The character has so much more she can do with that. Even if you just watch TK Breezy, and TK Breezy is good at platform fighters, don't get me wrong, but TK Breezy isn't exactly a professional MultiVersus player, and he's making this character look sick. Like, watch any Coney. I think Coney plays with TK for a decent amount of time in his Rick video, but he makes this character look so fun, and honestly, she is. She has a lot of really unique gimmicks. It's fun to chase people out with your projectiles. Her neutral air is great to use. I don't know, this character just flows really well together, especially with all the new buffs they've given her to kind of help with that. And then Harley, I'm gonna be honest, I think also is staying home from school and playing video games. Don't worry, not every character is going to be in this tier. It's just that we're kind of on a nice little streak. Harley is very fun. She's got good range on her moves. She's not over-tuned, but she's not under-tuned. She's in a really good spot. Probably on the stronger side of the roster as all of the characters around her get nerfed. But the point of that, this isn't a tier list based on strength, but it does help with the fun if you're not just getting absolutely decimated. You know what I mean? And the fact that you can fight into so many characters with Harley, in my opinion, is sick. If you have the mechanical ability, she has some really cool combos. And if you don't, you can get by on jab attack into up tilt into up air. You know what I mean? Or up special. Like, you can get by on much shorter strings. And I don't know, I think she's fun for pretty much all skill levels. Jake, I don't think Jake is very fun at all. I've tried playing this character a lot because I've started watching Adventure Time and I really like it. Jake's my favorite character in the show, but there's something so unfun about his kit. The skateboard is cool. I think he has some cool moves, but it's not really interactive. Your whole goal is to kind of doll sim people, from what I understand, and either just do the really long combo and get a cheap early kill with skateboard into eat, right? Or you just poke people out with your fist. And I don't think either are very fun. I don't think his transforming moves are very fun either. I think Jake is genuinely one of my least favorite characters in the entire game to play. Now, Raindog is pretty fun. I think Raindog is a character where you don't have to be good with them to play as them, but you really should just be scrapping with this character as well. I think the biggest thing I see from Raindogs is that they're afraid to go in. They just sit full screen, shoot their fire, and shoot projectiles through it. That's not how you play the character. The character can scrap. The character kills really early if you hit a down air on the stage, or if you hit like a down attack on stage. This character can scrap. He can combo. He has combo loops. And honestly, I think he's a great time. I think like all of these tiers, but I would say the top 4 are like, these are all pretty fun. You know, when you get a school project, but you get to work with your boys, that's still a decent time. You know, you're not miserable. I would say you're only kind of bummed out on these two. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a test tomorrow and you have to study all night, or you have to pay your taxes and shut up, that's not a great time. But yeah, I think Raindog's a good time. Recommend it to anybody that wants to surprise people and that likes skins. The cool thing is Raindog's a completely original character, so there's no licensing blocks for skins to get made for this character. So Raindog just gets so many, and they're all so cute. Great time, would recommend. Now, Shaggy's top tier. If you think Shaggy's anything but top tier, it's because you have a brain, and I feel sorry for you. Shaggy is the ultimate I'm gonna turn my brain off and have a wonderful time character. He has combo strings for days. All of his special moves are fun to land. I mean, it's the same reason that Captain Falcon is so fun in a lot of the Smash games. I think Falcon gets less fun as Smash games go on, personally. That's not the point. I think Shaggy is a wonderful time. One of my go-to drunk characters for a very good reason. If you get Shaggy into the Iron Giant, you are having an amazing time. He doesn't care about armor at all. He can kill very quickly. He can kill very easily. This character is incredible. If you want to go Oonga Boonga caveman mode, I cannot recommend him more. Now, here's the thing. Steven is a character for nerds. And what I mean is that learning Steven is literally like studying for a test. He has so much that you have to be able to get good at. He has a lot of tech. He has a lot of difficult combos. And he is not the easiest support to execute on, in my opinion. He has a very high skill ceiling. And if you're the type that likes to study, that likes to learn, I think Steven's like probably the most fun character in the game for you, right? If you are a lab monster, Steven is your character, but I am not. I'm a simple man. I have a simple brain. I want to get in and I want to press buttons, and Steven really isn't the best for that. He's all right. I actually think he's more fun than Finn, but I wouldn't say he's the most fun character in the game, at least for me. Now, a lot of people think I'm going to put Superman down here with Jake, and it's like, yeah, Superman's got to be just as poorly made as Jake, right? Well, I don't think either of these characters are poorly made. Jake's just not my playstyle. And Superman, if you're getting beaten by Superman, it's because you're very dumb. And I am too, so I get it. But Superman's a good time. I would probably put him like top of this tier. But essentially, Superman is the ultimate read character. He has to get really hard reads to kill you. And if you keep getting thrown by Superman, it's because you keep doing the same dumb option over and over again, and he knows you're gonna do it. Switch up your landing, change up what move you're gonna do, try to recover high instead of recovering low. You know what I mean? Air dodge through him, try to challenge it with a move. Mix it up, because if you keep recovering in the same cookie cutter way that you usually do, if you keep resorting to your flow chart, then Superman is going to eat you alive. And I think that's why so many people hate this character. If you think Superman is a poorly made character, I feel like you're just kind of telling on yourself, and that you aren't as like high IQ as you think you are, or that you're not as good at the game as you think you are, because Superman is one of the gatekeeper characters in this game. He has been nerfed to hell, and if you're still complaining about Superman, that is a serious skill issue. He is so much fun to play. If you're playing against someone that just does the same thing over and over again, it's a free win. I think he would be up here, but the most recent nerf kind of got rid of some of his combos and gave him a little too much recovery on some of his moves. Considering the character wasn't even winning tournaments before he got the nerf, I kind of think it's one of the weirdest nerfs a character has gotten. But if he gets that nerf reverted or gets a buff, I think he is firmly in one of these tiers. But for now, he is going to the store with mom, but you do get some McDonald's, which is pretty nice. Now, Tom and Jerry is pretty fun, but he's not my play style. I would say Tom and Jerry is probably up here if you like projectile heavy characters. I think he's the most interesting projectile character in the game in terms of just a pure keep away character. But that's not my play style at all. But he is better than Arya. So I'm going to say he's a fun school project. Now, I don't think he's as hard to play as people think. What happened is people saw Void doing really well with this character, and they're like, wow, this character's hard. No, it's just hard to play like your Void. That's in any game. Aang is not a hard character to play in Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, but playing Aang to the level that Void does is extremely difficult. That's just because Void is very good. You can get by on just shooting Jerry and doing jab and down air. You can get by on that. You don't need to learn all the complicated combos for this character to be really effective. Now, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is very fun, I've got to admit. She has a pretty decent skill floor and ceiling. Like, this character you can play and get something out of when you're not good at the game. And if you're good at the game, you just look at someone like Sandstorm and she turns into the most oppressive character of all time. I'm going to put her staying home from school, playing video games, probably top of it. If I had to order this tier, I'd probably do this. But Wonder Woman's a great time. I play her a decent amount. I'm really happy with where she is. She's definitely a little overtuned, but even if she got a nerf or two, I think she would be a wonderful time. And you know who isn't a wonderful time is Velma. I think Velma is kind of fun, but she's in like this tier. The thing is, Velma, it's not difficult to do what you need to do with this character. You just send your speech bubbles at people, jab when they get close, maybe down air into up air, maybe shoot your beam at them and kill them at 80. You know what I mean? I don't think this character is very interactive or very interesting. I think she's one of the more boring characters in the game. As a matter of fact, I might put Velma down here. I know this is a big drop, but in my opinion, what makes Velma potentially fun is that you can collect evidence and call the mystery gang on people, and she has a lot of really fun and quirky gimmicks, but that's not really the effective way to play the character. The effective way to play this character is to sit back, shoot your little projectiles, let your teammate go in, catch someone with a loop if someone decides to go in on you, and just snipe people with beams. Again, I don't like playing as these keep away playstyles. It's not for me, and I think Velma is by far the least interesting of all the projectile characters in the game. As a matter of fact, I kind of just think she's straight up the least interesting character in the game. I think in week 1, Velma had the "oh my god, Velma's actually really good" appeal, and it was just kind of funny to play Velma and win. But that effect has worn off, and now we just see Velma for what she really is, which is a really oppressive, overtuned character. You know, it doesn't matter how many nerfs you hit this girl with, she still has a move that is going to reduce your cooldowns by half. She still has tracking projectiles. The character is never going to be dog shit. Now, as for Taz, I think Taz is kind of fun, but he's borderline test tomorrow. And it's not because it's hard to play Taz. I just don't think when Taz is good, his kit isn't very interactive, and he has a move where you just can't play the game for like 5 seconds, and it's very annoying. In my opinion, you don't really want to encourage including moves that remove the ability to play the game for the other player, and I just don't think it's very fun. You're running around as a chicken. It's funny the first time you see it, but it gets old. All he really does is tornado and up special, and it is fun to see what a high level Taz can do, but they're very rare. And I don't know, this character might be fun if you put the time into him, but I just have a feeling that this character doesn't have a lot to him, if that makes sense. I obviously know that you can get really good with Taz and not spam tornado, but I just don't think he's fun when you do it. Now the Iron Giant, oh boy, this is the most fun character in the game, in my opinion. Being a colossal character is just inherently fun. It's something that you can only do in MultiVersus. You can't do this in any other game that exists other than like some really crazy 2D fighting games, but for platform fighters, this is the only one, and I think they did a great job with the Iron Giant. I think they're starting to maybe over nerf him, because the Iron Giant is always going to have a positive win rate online. Heavy characters always do well online because the latency doesn't bother them as much. They can make more mistakes than other players because they die later. Iron Giant is the epitome of that. He is a skill check character. Don't be intimidated because this character has a positive online win rate. He most likely always will, but still, he's a great time. All you need to do to have fun with the Iron Giant is not freak out when you get hit for 70%, because you're going to be dying at like 200%. That's nothing to you. That's like a 30% combo. You're good. Especially if you can DI or knockback influence, as they call it in MultiVersus. Especially if you're using your bolts properly. This character is a great time. And he's an even better time if you actually have a teammate that will play a support that can peel for you, like a Wonder Woman, like a Steven Universe, like hey, maybe kind of like Velma. I think Velma and Iron Giant has become a much worse team now that she can't give him bolts more often. I actually would much rather have a Steven Universe, a Morty, a Wonder Woman, someone that can actually get people off of me or save my life, right? But yeah, big fan of Giant. If you like pressing buttons, this is the ultimate press buttons character, but he actually does take a decent amount of skill. Because he is so heavy, good players are just going to combo you to death. It's up to you to avoid that. But there is a lot this character can do to kind of circumvent that. And another very fun character is LeBron James. I'm going to put LeBron James up here. This dude is just playing basketball. He is playing a different game than everyone else. He is playing NBA 2K. He is playing like NBA Jam, I think it's called. This is a super fun character. You can pass the ball to your teammates, you can dunk people and kill them, and you can hit confirm into the dunk. It's very fun to do. Recovering the ball is fun. Bouncing the ball into your opponent and doing like a combo where you bounce the ball into their face, it comes back to you. That's a good time. I don't know. I think LeBron James is a really well-designed character, probably one of the most well-designed characters in the game, up there with Tom and Jerry in terms of just animations. But he's much more fluid than Tom and Jerry, in my opinion. He's very high skill ceiling and kind of has a decently high skill floor, but I think this is a cool character. Morty, I'm kind of a little disappointed by. I don't think he's that fun compared to the most fun characters in the game, but he's still a good time when you play him. I'd probably put him like maybe right here. So the thing with Morty is I think it might have been a mistake to call him a bruiser, because I don't know if that's the ideal playstyle. For sure, he can get in there and scrap with his axe, with his jab, into the hammer spin and all of that. But you really do want to throw grenades, use rock to split that grenade into 2 grenades, let them blow up. You want to use your checkpoint to save your teammate. I think he's more of a support than a bruiser. A lot of people say he's a mage, but a lot of supports play like mages, guys. I mean, Rain Dog and Velma play like mages in terms of having cooldowns and projectiles, but they heal their teammate, they help their teammate survive. Rain Dog has an ability that is just worse than Morty's ability. Morty's checkpoint is a better Rain Dog tether, in my opinion. And yeah, I just think this character isn't really a bruiser. He's definitely more of a support, but I do think he's one of the more interesting supports in the game. Now, in general, the supports are going to rank lower than the other classes for me. That's not because I don't think support is fun, but I solo queue a lot, and sometimes it can be difficult to solo carry with a support class. Now, Rick is going straight up to the top, baby. You might be confused because I said I wasn't a big keep away fan, but in my opinion, you don't play Rick like a keep away character. His forward air kills mad early. He has decent combos with down air into up special. It's a really nice 2-hit that does a lot of damage because of the immediate ignite on down air. And I think up special might ignite as well. It's a lot of damage. He's very fun. Meeseeks and Portal are incredibly fun to play with. I think this is the most fun character they've released other than the Iron Giant. I don't even like Rick and Morty that much. I don't think it's a bad show. I watched season 1, but I'm not like a diehard Rick and Morty fan. I'm much bigger into like DC Comics, Looney Tunes, and I just think Rick is more fun than all those characters. I really like him. I think, you know, whoever designed Rick needs to design the Joker, because he's kind of how I want the Joker to play in a weird way, if that makes sense. But now we're going to go to Gizmo. I actually think Gizmo is pretty fun too. I don't think there's a lot of characters that are unfun. I think Gizmo is probably more fun than Rain Dog. And you know what? We'll bump Morty up above Batman. But yeah, Gizmo, he's cute. You can drive the car around. It can do backflips. You can launch it into people. He does have decent combo potential, and because of his down special in the air, he actually has really good kill potential too. And his umbrella got buffed, which is pretty easy to chase people with. I don't know. This is one of the easiest supports to solo carry with, in my opinion. Maybe Morty's slightly better to do that with, but I really like Gizmo. He's so much fun to play. Super cute character, and honestly really well designed, but I don't play him that much, so I can't speak on him super well. And finally, I lied. Stripe is my second favorite character in the entire game. He's so fun. I watched Gremlins 1 and 2 the night before Stripe came out. I watched them as a kid, but Stripe gave me a nightmare because I was like 3 when I watched the first one, and I don't want to spoil the first one, even though it's like 30 years old, 40 years old. But regardless, this character has some really gruesome and grotesque scenes that I should not have been seeing as a 3-year-old, and it freaked me out. But as an adult, yeah, this character is awesome. The movies are great, and the attention to detail on the moves, every single move he has is something he does in the movie, and he doesn't even get that much screen time, which is really impressive to me. They really did kind of juice as much as they could out of the film reference, and they made an incredibly fun character who is built around basically punishing mashers. This character is going to have a high win rate, and I don't know if that means he's OP. I do think he's on the strong side. I just think that means he's anti-meta, and right now the meta is using all your dodges just to kind of get around and to get in, to kind of just mash buttons, throw out your armored moves, and he's gonna punish all of that. He is gonna fuck you right up. He doesn't have an armor breaker, but between like buzzsaws and the fact that he can bounce them back into you after, the fact that chainsaw is a multi-hitting move that can break armor, does a lot of damage, the fact that if he catches you mashing or if he catches you lacking with an air dodge, he can use a bullet to finish you off. This is a character that's going to punish bad players, and that's why his win rate is so high. And you might notice something with the characters I like. Iron Giant is just gonna be good because, you know, he's heavy, and Stripe is just gonna be good because he is anti how you play MultiVersus. You cannot just sit back, throw projectiles, or like mash buttons. You cannot be the mash champ against Stripe because he will kill you. He'll use all of your resources, and you have to be intelligent with your recovery and your disadvantaged state. As for good matchups into him, I think Harley's pretty decent. I think she can kind of play the game pretty well into him. And I actually think Rick's pretty solid because this character is all about ruining your disadvantaged state. And Rick's portal is a really good get me out of trouble button. But regardless, I really love Stripe. I've been playing him a lot since my most recent video. Check that out if you'd like to see my first impressions on him. But this character is incredible. I wasn't expecting it, but he might even be my main in the game right now because Iron Giant has been kind of eating these nerfs. By the way, I shouldn't have to mention this, but tier lists are all opinionated. This isn't fact. You might think these 4 are the most fun characters in the game, and these 4 are the least fun. What can I do about that? Fuck all, because it's not my opinion. But, you know, as for me, these are my most played characters in the game recently right now. If I'm playing MultiVersus, I'm gonna play one of these 4 characters because they're very fun. You know, Shaggy's Oonga Boonga. Rick is a really good balance of keep away and ability to rush down, and he has some cool gimmicks. Come on, he's a colossal character. He's so fun. And oh boy, this is just my play style. The fact that I get to punish people. You know, I played Aquaman for the same reason. In Injustice, Aquaman just kind of shut you down. If you were going to spam projectiles from full screen, he could use a meter burn tracking move and combo off of that and get a really hard punish off of that. He's really good at catching people just mashing buttons, and he's, you know, he's a great anti-dumb people character, and so is this. And that is one of my favorite archetypes in fighting games. And, you know, they've done a great job. If you've noticed as well, like the recent characters are all placing very well. These are all kind of old characters, and I just think the more recent characters have more interesting stuff. Like, there has not been a character that released since the open beta that I think is unfun or even close to it. But like I said, those are just my opinions. Let me know what character you think is the most fun in the comments down below. And with all of that said, I'll smell you guys later.